I was inspired to do this video today from the Most Interesting Man in the World campaign, and that was for the DOS Equus beer commercials. You may have seen it, maybe you haven't, but it was this fictional character portrayed by actor Jonathan Goldsmith. And basically, the campaign's got this older dude, and he was always saying, I don't always drink beer, but when I do. So, in this video, I'm going to give you the 5 ways that you can be the most interesting man in the room, and the last one's going to surprise you. Alright, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys, and if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and a notification button because I'm dropping videos every week. Alright, the most interesting man in the room that's what this video is all about, and how do you become the most interesting man in the room? And I'm going to get right into it. And the thing is, I came across this by accident, right? And you're going to hear me talk more about this specific thing, and that is peacocking in my videos because it is one of the most powerful ways that I'm able to meet women when I'm out, just anywhere. Now, you have to do it in certain ways, right? So peacocking, in its definition, is basically you're flaunting yourself. You're either flaunting yourself with your clothes and accessories, or you're flaunting yourself in your voice. You've got this loud voice. You're bringing attention to yourself like a male peacock, right? Male peacock throws up his feathers to try and attract a female mate. Well, I have some show and tell on some examples, and let me tell you, man, how this happened by accident is one day I was wearing this shirt. Yup, look at this. A gold, flashy kind of disco shirt. And you might be laughing and thinking, Silver Bachelor, man, come on, man. No. Listen, I also have a gold sequence blazer. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be silver, gold, whatever. Something that is so out there that you are the only dude in the place wearing something like this, and the attention that I've been able to get on just a shirt or a blazer is insane, right? Not only have I had, every time I wear something like this, I get women coming up to me saying, oh, I really like your shirt. And I get dudes, not that I'm into dudes, but I also get dudes that are like, yo, bro, that shirt is awesome. Sunglasses. So I'm going to give you just a couple examples, okay? A blazer, a shirt, but just keep this in mind, peacocking, okay? Another example is you can wear a cowboy hat, and it doesn't even have to be a fancy cowboy hat, especially if you live in a city where cowboy hats are not very common. Here's an example. One time I'm at this restaurant bar, and this happened just like a month ago. And I was like, the guy didn't even realize he was peacocking, okay? This guy is called a barback. So basically, he's the guy that comes to the front of the bar, grabs all the dishes, grabs this whatever else he needs to bring it back to the kitchen to clean. He's basically a busboy kind of thing, right? So this dude, black guy, and just average looking, but he had a cowboy hat on. So he comes to the front of the bar to clean up the stuff and get some glasses. On both sides of me this time around, I was sitting there by myself. Both sides of me were 2 groups of women, and they were both attractive. And they kept complimenting him on his cowboy hat. And they're like, man, that's a cool hat. You look really good in it and all this stuff. And he was completely oblivious to it. This is an example of peacocking that he didn't even know. So I encourage you, if you've got a cool hat, cowboy hat, nothing nerdy, cowboy hats, women, for whatever reason, love the cowboys and the cowboy hats. But it doesn't have to be that. You can also rock some interesting sneakers, right? Look at this. I have red Hugo Boss sneakers. I don't wear these all the time. But again, this is another example of peacocking where you've got something that, what dude would wear something like that? And the thing is, when you wear something that is kind of ostentatious, that's getting attention, that it's associated with status, because who the hell would dare wear something so flashy like that? So women associate that with, that guy must be a guy of status, and if it's worth complimenting, they will compliment you on it, and it opens the door to have a conversation around, hey, you're pretty, whatever, you exchange numbers. There is a risk that you might be seen as that dude with the gold sequence shirt, right? but it doesn't matter. We're talking about openers here and how to be the most interesting man in the room, okay? So, moving on. Charisma, right? Charisma, Russell Brand is one of my favorites to watch. Charisma will bring you so far in being the most interesting man in the room, because most dudes, let's just call a spade, are boring. They're boring as fuck. So here you are, you're charismatic, you're making people laugh, right? People are gathering around you because you've got these funny stories, you're teasing people, whatever, and charisma will make you also the most interesting man in the room. Number 3, and this one's not really a surprise, but I'm going to repeat it because I've said this many times in my videos, social status. You guys have no idea how much more important social status is than your bank account, right? The bouncer in the place, the bouncer lets everyone in and out, and the bouncer has social status, and women will do everything they can to win the favor of the bouncer, or she knows, oh, I know that guy, if I go to that place with 4 of my girlfriends, he'll let me skip the line. He's got status, social status, high social status. The bartenders have social status, mixologists, right? So imagine if you are throwing a party or you're invited to a party and you have bartending skills, oh my God. Women have to come up to you and order drinks. That's a huge social status. And if you make their drink like perfect, they're going to keep coming back to you. And once they start to get to know you, they're going to want to know, okay, so especially if they're attracted to you, right? And it doesn't matter what else you do for a living, but bartenders, bouncers, DJs. I DJ for fun. I've met more women DJing that have come up to me just to say hi, or hey, do you have Instagram? Or they've requested a song and I play that song and they just start to get to know me. DJs have very high social status. They control the whole vibe of the place, okay? So I can go on and on and on about this, but I remember one time I was DJing and I was around a bunch of guys and there was a private party going on and there was a lot of ballers in the room, right? And I had more women coming up to me that night and than any of these ballers in the room. And so this is just an example of how powerful social status is. And if she's attracted to you, man, I will just say this. If at the point of social status and now you've made a connection, you're exchanging numbers, it doesn't freaking matter how much money you have or what you do for a living, really. I mean, maybe down the road, but initially, she doesn't care about all that stuff. And so put more emphasis on what you can do to bring social status into your life and to parties that you're going to or private events. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4, mystery. If you're the guy sitting in the back corner by himself having a drink, and I'm not talking and you're working on your laptop because that's kind of geeky and that does not make you one of the most interesting men in the room. No, but if you're just sitting there in the back having a drink and you have no idea how many very attractive women have told me this. They're like, when I've seen a guy sitting alone at the back having a drink or at the far end of the bar and he's just sitting there with nobody else, that mystery makes me curious about the guy. So that's another way you can be the most interesting man in the room. Number 5, I've got a bonus one too, so hold on a second. So number 5 is if you have an interesting luggage set. And you might be thinking, Silver Bachelor, what do you mean luggage set? If you've got luggage and it's interesting, they're thinking, wow, this guy is traveling, so obviously he's got money or he's high up in a job, and that luggage that he's got is interesting. So that's just one thing I thought to include there. But really, I wanted to save the best for last, and that is if you have a dog, right? If the place that you're at allows pets and you're the guy in there with a dog, and it doesn't matter what kind of dog, if you're the guy in there and there's basically no other guy in the place with a dog, you now become the most interesting man in that place, okay? Because I don't know a single woman that doesn't love dogs. All right, hope you like this video. Let me know what you think in the comment, and what do you do specifically to be the most interesting man in the room, because I want to hear what you have to say. All right, thanks for watching.